Good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. This is Tina Allen, your Caribbean College planner and student advisor at the Student Center. And we are back with our webinar right leading up to CupFest Education Fair, which kicks off next week in Barbados on the 12th from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center. Then we move on to Guyana on February 15th at the Georgetown Marriott. And then we end in Jamaica on February 18th at Kingston Pegasus. And I'm joined by some of the schools that will be on the road with me as we go throughout the islands. Well, Guyana is a country, so as we go throughout the Caribbean countries. And I have with me Colin Dow, representing St. George's University, known for its School of Medicine. And I have Mona Anborn from Valencia College, which first time Cup Fest participating institution. So I'm really happy to have Valencia College. They're our US representative for this evening, and they will also be on the floor joining us in Barbados next week, um, giving you all different types of information in person. And if they're not coming to your country, they have a page on the Cup Fest International website. So whether you're going to be in person or not, you can still communicate with the schools attending Cup Fest via the Cup Fest website, www.cupfestinternational.com. That website, that platform is available 24/7. During the fair, all those participating schools will be listed there. So you can definitely check it out and send them some information questions through the website. And then last and definitely not least, my friend Shabir, representing the University of Guelph, based out in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. He's no stranger to Cup Fest now, and he will be joining us as we go through all three of the Caribbean countries. And for those of you now coming into Zoom, remember, Cup Fest Education in-person fairs kicks off next week in Barbados, making stops also in Guyana and Jamaica. Learn more, www.cupfestinternational.com. Now, this session is about what everybody wants to hear when it comes to college and university scholarships. And it's not my job this evening to talk to you about the scholarships. That's why I'm joined by my colleagues who are going to be telling you about the scholarships available at their institutions. And we know that scholarships will vary, especially if you are going to be an international student. And we know we want to save a little bit where we can. And so they're going to tell you what they have on offer, depending on what programs are, what area of study, what level of study as well, determining their programs available for you. So without further ado, we're going to start off with St. George's University. Colin, over to you. Tell us what SGU has on offer this evening.
Thank you very much, Sheena, and certainly thank you to all of your folks online. Happy New Year. I know we're in February, but I still be saying Happy New Year to each of you. And it's a pleasure having the opportunity to present on St. George's University. As Sheena indicated, my name is Colin Dow. I'm the Associate Dean of Admissions here at SGU. And I will start off by giving you some background on the university, background on our programs before delving into our scholarships. So we started off as a standalone medical school in 1977, School of Arts and Sciences offering our undergraduate programs 96, Vet Med 99, and graduate programs since 1994. Our current enrollment is just over 9,000 students. We probably have the largest English-speaking medical school in the world, some 6,304 students following one of the MD pathways in the four-year MD program, some 5,824. Just over 1,400 in the School of Veterinary Medicine, 1,391 in the four-year DVM program, just shy of 900 in our undergraduate program, School of Arts and Sciences, 448 students pursuing graduate degrees, 104 countries represented in our student population, admittedly, majority by country of birth being US, 68% of the students being US citizens. Just by way of background, our current student population, we have some 1,441 Caribbean students with us, Bajans, 7. Vast majority, of course, will be Grenadians, followed by our closest neighbor, Trinidad and Tobago, with 152. As we look at our Caribbean graduates, majority, as expected, Grenadians, followed again by Trinidad, and then St. Vincent and the Grenadines, two closest neighbors, 31 from Barbados. But you will see the numbers there: Jamaica 66, Guyana 70 in terms of our Caribbean graduates. The School of Medicine, as we would look at it, no other medical school in the world provides more new doctors into the US healthcare system than St. George's University. That's one area of note, just putting it out there. So when residencies are announced on the third Friday in March each year for the last 13 years combined, St. George's University's name, by virtue of our graduates, being called more than any other. We are the largest source of licensed physicians currently practicing in the US. So those are two noteworthy things as we look at this Caribbean institution, St. George's University, and its impact on the healthcare system within the US. By virtue of our program, we take students directly from Form 5 into a 7-year program made up of 3 years in Teal of undergraduate coursework. And it's important that I mention this because you'll see why, how it ties into funding later. And 4 years of graduate coursework in Orange. So if one is coming in to from Form 5 with CSEC, 7-year program, from community college, 6th form, after Cape, 5-year program, holding a bachelor's degree, the 4-year program, which would be the 4 years in Orange. School of Veterinary Medicine, as I mentioned, one of the few vet schools in the world to be accredited by both the American Veterinary Medical Association, North American accreditation, and the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, UK accreditation. The setup is very similar from Form 5, 7-year program, year 1 in Teal, after 6th form, Cape Associate's degree, 5-year program, which is year 3 in Teal, holding a first degree, the 4 years in Orange. The School of Arts and Sciences have degrees in business, business management, accounting, international business, tourism and hospitality management, humanities and social sciences like sociology, psychology, our biology department, general biology, as well as marine wildlife conservation biology, IT and computer technology, nursing, and allied health. Now, the monies. This is where we want to get to. Education is an investment. It's not the cheapest thing that you will find because you're investing in you. That investment will be appreciated, unlike buying a car, when upon purchase, it will be depreciating, right? So undergraduate programs as well as pre-vet, those 3 years in Teal, $32,684 US dollars per year. Vet med, almost $60,000 per year. Medicine, $90,000 per year. Pre-clin, first 3 years in Teal, the undergraduate component, almost $42,000 per year for international students. Now, as we think of scholarships, there are different classifications of students. At St. George's University, we have international, which is the value of your education on screen. There is a Caribbean rate, and then there's a Grenadian rate. So if you go to a US school, for example, stateside, they talk about in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition, and international. At St. George's, international is on a website, then there's Caribbean, and then there's Grenadian. So SGU is committed to helping you fund your education through academic scholarships, through need-based scholarships. Over 90% of our Caribbean students are on some type of institutional award. What do? We have you complete what is referred to as a confidential financial statement that is reviewed by the scholarship committee, financial need, your extracurricular activities, if you have a sibling going to St. George's or somebody graduated and hence connected, and other types of scholarships, which allows the scholarship committee to make a determination. Then that decision is communicated to you. What can your scholarship package look like? So coming into any of our undergraduate programs, business, biology, marine wildlife conservation biology, the IT program, etc., as a Caribbean student, you get an automatic 65% off. So we're no longer speaking of 32,684. Your rate automatically 11,439. If yours is medicine, so you're starting off from Form 5, from 6th form in the pre-medical program or pre-clinical program, it's not 41,716. It's 14,601 annually. If you are strong in your academics and applying to any of the degrees within the School of Arts and Sciences, the Caribbean Visionary Scholarship, we give about 3 to 5 every year, 100% tuition scholarship. So all of your tuition goes away. The only thing you'll be funding would be your living expenses. When promoted into the 4-year MD program, we have academic awards. So again, incoming in, we'll be able to make this award based on your CSEC performance, based on your CAPE performance, based on the GPA in your associate degree, whatever qualification, or IB, whatever qualification you're coming in will be assessed for an academic award. The International Peace Bursary is a need-based award geared towards people from developing countries. And we can take up to, at this point, about 40% off of our published tuition for the School of Medicine. For the School of Veterinary Medicine, up to 50% off of that School of Veterinary Medicine tuition can go away based on your demonstrated need, which will be expressed when you fill out that confidential financial statement upon acceptance. We also have things like the Difference Maker Scholarship. It's a partial scholarship for demonstrated compassion and commitment to humanitarian causes. So if you've been volunteering, senior citizens' homes, you've organized funds and fundraisers for the needy, etc., we'll take a look at that. And there are scholarships that are available. Not every scholarship is 100%. You can stack scholarships, and hence, bit by bit, you chip away at what the overall cost of attending the program may be. We also have institutional loans. In this case, university lends you money, you pay the tuition, upon graduation, you pay us back. There are different opportunities that are available, is the message. It may vary from institution to institution, but the price is never the price, is never the price. And we encourage you strongly to explore, to ask questions, to see how you may be eligible to access awards that will reduce your cost of attendance. In terms of looking for external scholarships, do you volunteer or have leadership experiences? Have you looked at scholarships based on dual citizenship? Because you might be Guyanese but American, and there will be funding for US students. Did you consider scholarships based on your ethnicity? Are you multilingual? And companies typically give back to community. So in approaching companies who will be interested in funding your particular degree area, veterinary medicine or marine biology, it makes sense because they will assist in funding. They may not write off your entire tuition, but they can contribute to reducing the amount that has to come from family resources, that the amount that you have to look for funding your general living expenses. So outside of looking at institutions, it makes sense as well to look at private sector opportunities and those nuances where scholarships can be obtained. My name, as I said, Colin Dow, on screen. You have my email address, you have my landline, you have my cell phone number. I do respond to WhatsApp messages, not at 2 a.m. All right. But certainly happy to engage during the Q&A session later on. And I look forward to seeing you as part of the Cup Fest series beginning next week. Take good care. Absolute pleasure sharing.
Thank you so much, Colin. Lots of information there, and we're going to break that down some more in the Q&A. We're going to move on to our Valencia College team. We have Born and Mona. We're going to the US now. So from Grenada, we move up north a bit, and we are in Orlando, one of my favorite cities to be in because I am an avid Disney fan. So really excited to have you guys. And this is Valencia College, as I said, is a first-time Cup Fest participating institution. So we're happy to have them. And they're going to talk to us about Valencia College and their scholarships. For those of you who may require an F1 visa, so you're considered international, they will walk you through what is possible. Remember, you can meet Valencia at Cup Fest in Barbados.
Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Mona Belakbir. I am representing Valencia College from the sunny state of Florida. So today I'm going to try and keep it brief, and I'll go over the different scholarship opportunities that we offer through Valencia College. First, let me also present my colleague Born. He's also here on the call, so you can expect to see him next week at the fair. Moving right along, some notable things to keep in mind. Just quick facts. We offer over 100 programs. So it's just about choosing where you want to study at this point. You don't need to worry about, oh, do they have my program or not? Of course, we offer it. Besides that, we represent over 100 countries through our student population. We're the fifth largest US host for international students. Currently, we have over 1,200 students enrolled that are international. So yeah, these are just a few numbers I wanted to share with everyone today. Moving right along. So our internal scholarship fund, the Global Achievers Award, is offered to specifically international students. We have three types. The first time in college, so that award's about between 500 all the way to 2,500 for first-time college students. We also have the College Transfer Award for those that are transferring from other universities. And then finally, the Intensive English Program Transfer Award. This is offered specifically to students that are attending our Intensive English program here at Valencia College. Next, we also offer the Linkage Institute Scholarship, and this is in partnership with Florida State University. And this is specifically for our students from the Caribbean region. What it does is it takes the cost from out-of-state tuition to in-state tuition. So you're looking at about a third of the cost that you would be looking at for attending Valencia College. And what's great about the scholarship is that it follows you everywhere you go in Florida. So even if you transfer to a different university, you can expect to rely on your linkage scholarship. Next, we have things like honor societies, which I'm sure a lot of our students are familiar with. But basically, we have the honors program, the CENIF honors program, which is an academic-based program. It relies on the students being highly, achieving students. We also have Phi Theta Kappa, a different society, but it also offers a lot of scholarship opportunities for students that are attending Valencia College. Some other clubs that also offer scholarships from time to time are things like Model United Nations, the Caribbean Student Association, just depending on the funding and what's available at the time. Those are also opportunities for our students to benefit from. Next, we have an internal scholarship fund, the Foundation Scholarships, and what it is basically different third-party companies and even Valencia College has a big fund that a lot of students can apply to. And what's really great about it is that students can basically submit one scholarship and they're considered for multiple scholarships. So this can be really great and it can help take the cost from, 100% sometimes all the way to 50%. So this is something that I really wanted to highlight today. Now, we also have international transfer scholarships, and these are in partnerships with universities in Florida and outside of Florida. And for each university, they'll have different types of transfer scholarships, and it's based mainly on academics, involvement on campus, and of course, GPA. So very numeric heavy, but this is also something we would like to share. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what we have to offer for scholarships. I wanted to keep it pretty brief so that we can give back some time. And you can expect to see Born next week at the Cup Fest in Barbados. And yeah, we're excited to see you guys there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mona. So many questions I have for you after this. And I definitely will probably pull Born when he's in Barbados and get some more information. So this is really interesting. And I know that Valencia College, the transfer options look very interesting. So there you have it, Valencia College, who will be participating in CupFest first time. Meet them in Barbados next week. On the 12th at Lloyd Erskine Sandifer Center, that fair runs from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you have more than enough time to explore and get acquainted with Valencia College. We had SGU who will be joining us in Guyana and in Jamaica. And remember, these schools are also available on online on our CupFest website. So definitely visit www.cupfestinternational.com. There you can also interact. Just in case we are not passing through your country, you can't get to everybody one time, but we'll try our best. And we'll be back again later on in the year. So we will let you know which countries we will be visiting. Last and definitely not least is Shabir from the University of Guelph. Definitely another popular school. So we're going from the US now, jump into Canada. Shabir, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tell us what Guelph has to offer us this evening.
Awesome. Can you see my slide, Sheena? Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Colin.
can
Appreciate
see
it.
it. It's not in
Yeah.
presentation mode yet.
Now you can see it.
Yeah, it's not in presentation. Yes.
Thank you so much, Colin. Thank you, Mona. It's a wonderful presentation to see, three different regions and country coming together to support the students in Caribbean. And University of Guelph, as you know, also collaborates with Sheena and other colleagues. And we wanted to make sure that we share as much as good information for you to take a decision to choose your next career path. University of Guelph is a top comprehensive university. And we have over 27,000 undergraduate students and over 2,200 international students. However, as you know, Ontario is very diverse. That means every student have a different backgrounds, and that means it's a diverse institution. We only talk about students who are with student visa as international students. We talked about the campus. It's a vibrant campus. It's a green campus for students to choose from, to looking into the activities they could do. And as we talk about scholarship and funding today, but we just wanted to know what are the programs do we offer? We offer around 16 degree programs, 75 majors, and plus 60 plus minors. As we talk about the reputation and talk about what are the rankings really help, one thing I really talk about to students is like, when you're looking into ranking, each ranking is based on how the institution is built. One thing I'm really proud about University of Guelph is that University of Guelph is #1 in Canada for student satisfaction, which talks about the quality of program, which talks about quality of research, which talks about guaranteed housing, which talks about University of Guelph being food campus, so that student gets taken care of in every part of their life. It also not only that, out of the 75 major programs we talked about, 67 programs comes with a paid co-op. Some of the employers are big, some of the employers are small, some of the employers are medium, so that the students get an experiential learning as part of the curriculum from 3 to 5 terms of their education, not sitting in the classroom, but sitting in the office and learning what they have studied in the classroom. That's really important for the students. Whenever you choose a program, really important for you to look into the co-op opportunities, which gives you an earning power as well. This is some of the data which our career advising and labor department talk about. What is the earning a student gets when they go into a co-op, when they have 3 to 5 terms on an average of $2,000 up to $6,000. That's what they earn while they are in a co-op every month. That's why we call co-op gives an opportunity for them to have a experiential learning while they are in the campus. And now we talk about, it's one of the main things which we always talk about. This is our funding and supporting. University of Guelph is among one of the top universities which offers best scholarship for the students. That's really important to take care of your tuition fees. This is an entry-level scholarship which we talk about between $5,500 up to $9,500, your first year entry-level scholarship. This is based on your grades, what you got it during your education, during your high school. You don't have to write an essay. You don't have to. This is how we wanted to reward you based on your grades. Just to share you data, 94% of the students who came in fall 2024, which is September 2024, received an amount of 8,660 on an average. That means over 94% of the students have received close to a $9,000 scholarship. That means you could look into the quality of students coming in, they're looking into quality of scholarship they're earning. That's very, very important for the students when they make a choice of studying in University of Guelph. And the other scholarship, we do have Dr. Franco Vaccarino President Scholarship, which is $42,500. We also offer international student to settle down. We offer them a welcome scholarship of $2,000. Also, transfer students as an entry level, we do give them a $10,000 scholarship. For the freshmen, when they come, you have an entry-level scholarship, but any student who gets a $6,500 and above as an entry level, they also get up to $12,000, like $4,000, $4,000, $4,000. Their second year, the third year, they're $4,000, it's $12,000. So they need to maintain a GPA required so that so a student can get up to 21,500 Canadian dollars as their scholarship to do education in University of Guelph. As you all know, the different various programs comes with various scholarship. So on an average, a tuition fee for a student is between $53,000 to $75,000. We normally students will ask, what is the $75,000? There are various programs, engineering programs, College of Biological Sciences, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. So we have up to 7 faculties which offers different programs, and that's how we add all the tuition fee, your residence plan, your compulsory fees. That's how the tuition fee is added. But I would always look into how I can fund my education, that scholarship, and how I can take in charge by signing up for a co-op program and take care of my tuition fee as well. That's really important. What does it offer? The co-op offers to take care of your tuition fee, experiential learning, and also Canadian experience in a Canadian employer that also supports you. So if you have any questions, connect with me. I'm going to be in all the CUFest event, and I'm happy to answer any question with my colleagues.
Thank you so much, Shabir. So Shabir gave us 3 ways on how you could help fund your education. First thing, with the co-ops, very interested, paid work experience. So you can learn and earn at the same time. Then there are entrance scholarships for those of you coming straight out of secondary school, whether you're doing your CAPE, IB, or you're doing A levels. And then for those of you who are attending community or state college and you're coming with an associate degree, not many schools offer transfer scholarships, but Guelph, particularly in Canada, so Guelph is one of those schools that they would offer you a scholarship as well once you meet their criteria. So there are different ways for you to help supplement whatever you have allocated from your own resources. Each of these schools have provided you with options. And remember, with the University of Guelph, they will be with us as well on the CUFest tour, which kicks off next week, Wednesday, starting in Barbados at the Lloyd Erskine Stanley First Center. From 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then we move on to the lovely country of Guyana. We will be there at the Georgetown Marriott from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. That will be a Saturday. And then we go to Jamaica. We were just there last year as well, back in Jamaica in Kingston on the 18th, and that fair runs from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you have enough time to plan. And in the meantime, if we're not stopping in your country, but you're on this call and you're joining us wherever you are from, you can still be part of CUFest by utilizing the website www.cupfestinternational.com. Let's get to some questions, folks. I'm going to put some questions out generally. You guys can answer. So one thing about scholarships, some people do ask, is there like a separate application? Is there a certain deadline that you have to apply by for in some instances? I don't know which one of you want to start off first and answering those questions. Go ahead, Shabir.
Absolutely. I think we are from 3, thank you so much, Sheila. It's a good, valuable question. I know we are from 3 different regions or 3 different countries with little bit similar education pathways. Based on Guelph and my experience working with higher education, some of the entry level, my colleague will also going to support and going to give me answer on this. Some of the scholarship or entry level scholarship is already comes when you apply based on your grades, that's what we call it as like merit based scholarship. You got this one example, Guelph gives you 9,500. That means it's based on your 95 above percentage, so that means your grades will directly, so there is no need of an essay. We want to looking into your grades. We want to make sure that, how you achieve. So we wanted to value how you studied in your high school. That's why it's really important. Then the next stage would be, as I said, there's a president scholarship, right? There are specific scholarship in each university. There could be an alumni scholarship. There could be a president scholarship. There could be a departmental scholarship where we would like to have a committee to review your documents. Like, why do you think you qualified apart from your grades? Why do you think you qualify for the scholarship? Those scholarship is where you need an essay, where you need a recommendation from your high school counselor or your teacher. Most of the time it could be 2 or 3 recommendation, not more than that. So it talks about what you said and what your recommenders say and matches the same thing, right? So I go say that I'm going to I did a president of a humane society, and then none of my recommendees, so there's no mismatch. They also vouch for it. Oh, I know Shabir does volunteer in the institution. He teaches after 5 to 6 for students who need it. You could see how it shows me as my leadership, or it shows me as an animal support. It shows me as So some of the scholarship, you need an essay or a writing component where you say, why do you qualify for the scholarship? Why do you choose the university? Why do you choose the program? And how do you fit in? It's something like, to explain to the committee. It's based on university. Probably it could be from 2 pages up to 5 pages, and then 2 recommendation to 3 recommendation. That's an example.
Okay, so you apply to Guelph, depending on your grades, you could be automatically considered for some, and then some of the larger ones, obviously, you have to pitch why you might be a good candidate then for the scholarship. Okay, so that is Guelph. Valencia,
And
what
it
about you
is,
guys? Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Colin, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Colin. Sorry.
and I was just to endorse. I mean, so the Caribbean undergraduate scholarship program, for example, with us, and that's for undergraduate study. You're born in the Caribbean, live in the Caribbean, you get that 65% on the undergraduate study. So that's automatic. When you get promoted into med school or vet school, then there is some activity that's required of you. So the confidential financial statement, for example, allows you to think of the education in general, put down the sources of funding that you have identified, certainly point you to some other sources of funding so that you're able to plan. But based on that plan, we are going to be attempting to meet you along the way. And no
Mm.
Caribbean student pays the price that you see on the website for medicine or veterinary medicine, right? So there are those need-based opportunities. There are the academic opportunities that Shabir would have mentioned. And then in case of, again, full undergraduate study for like business, and so there are full tuition scholarships. Now, if you're going for full tuition scholarships or like the President's Scholarship at Guelph, you've got to do some work. So there is an essay. How will you be utilizing this award, this degree for the betterment of mankind, for the betterment of our region? That's our
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean Visionary Award. So I also would want to signal that the life, the involvement of the students who are online are important as well to lobby for scholarship opportunities. Being a good citizen, being an involved citizen, being involved on your campus community or in your church, etc. Those two can assist in demonstrating the type of human being that you have been, the type of citizen you have been, and can also give favorable reviews for scholarship awards.
Okay, so St. George's, you have some automatic price fix rates for Caribbean students up front. But then as they move along, particularly for the medicine streams, there are others that are based on your academics, but then your non-academic, your extracurriculars, and then also on the needs. So filling out your financial information for the confidential one is important so that it paints a picture of the candidate to see how you guys can supplement where you can. So this is really more of an individualized approach that you guys have with respect to your funding for potential students, which seems pretty interesting.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, my student just started and at St. SGU in January and got 120,000 US dollars in scholarship. That's amazing. So very possible. So we're gonna Valencia, you guys, tell us whether, you apply. Is there a separate application? Is it automatic?
Yeah, so with community colleges, it's quite different. You don't you have to make a separate application for the scholarships that we offer.
Mhm.
But beyond that, the cost of attending Valencia College is really what makes us unique. Because we're a community college, our tuition has been fixed for the past 10 years or so, and it hasn't changed much. So for tuition, the cost is 9,576 per year. So for a lot
A
of students
year?
that
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah, so for a lot of students that can be that can be manageable, and especially with the partial scholarships that we offer for, the first semester, and then if you consider the linkage scholarship, which brings it down to the in-state tuition rate, that takes it, like I said, to almost like a third of the cost. That is already super appealing to a lot of our students, and that's
Mhm.
what brings them to Valencia College. And so, yeah, it's a little bit of a different perspective, I'll say.
Right. So already coming in at a lower tuition cost, with linkages as they want to progress into their bachelor degree and coming in as a transfer. Obviously, they're not going to spend 4 fresh years again at university. So you have interest in transfer links, some of which come also with scholarship possibilities for them to shrink their tuition even more. So this you're a very cost-effective approach if you're looking at the US. You don't want to go too far. Florida is just there. And so for the most part, their flight, one flight, maybe a second flight to Orlando, or if you're coming from Jamaica, I know there's a direct flight. So you look very attractive for Caribbean students. So there's a separate application, folks, in the case of Valencia. We have a couple queries coming in on the Q&A, so I'll pause on my questions and go to them. So there's a question here. Are there any limitations concerning holding more than one scholarship or scholarship bursary combination simultaneously?
It can start us off.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
would say no, there is no limitations. So similar to many other universities, the more scholarships you apply to, the better. So they're stackable usually. Unless you're getting like a full ride scholarship to a university, you're able to apply to as many scholarships as you see fit. That way you can higher your chances of getting more funding.
Same
Thank
same
you.
here. Same here at St. George's. You can stack scholarships, so that's not a problem.
So you
I
can stack
voice
at St. George's. Shabir, can you stack at Guelph?
I echo my colleague's feedback. Absolutely right. So that's an example, right? So if they get an entry level, then they get a welcome scholarship, which is $2,000. So that makes them 11,500. And then they also have a global scholarship, is based on the merit and other combination of their counselor's feedback. So that's up to 3,000 or 5,000. So if you add that, so you can add those scholarship for the entry level. But for example, if you get an entry level scholarship and then you get a president's level scholarship, those cannot be stacked.
Right.
So yeah, because it's a bigger amount. So what we
Mhm.
do is like, okay, if President Macarino is like 42,500, the students get the 42,500, but they are not going to get any other scholarship because they're all lower amount. So that's
Right.
how the stackable scholarships are merit, based on those entry level scholarship. If they get a big scholarship, like which is required for them to do some activities and things, so then it takes over the entire scholarship. However, I
Right.
really like what Mona said. There are lots of scholarship available. Very few people are applying. I'm going to give an example, not confidential number, but just to see a hypothetical. Last year, Franco Valerino, we received close to 200 applications. This year, we only received 120 applications. You could see the difference of how students are now, oh, it's boring. I don't want to write an essay. I don't want to take. But think about it. Last year, two students who got, one of the students is from Vietnam and one is a student from Nigeria. And they got fully, there's two students who got it like fully 42,500. And that's how the students will always think, oh, am I going to apply? So only there are 200 students, but, look into that. People are not applying, started reducing it. Oh, it's an extra work for me. And there are lots of other scholarship. Even not only that, funding. When they go to the second year, my colleagues should also answer this question. There are departmental scholarships which students never even touch it. I want into God. They go into the mode of, I'm going to find part-time jobs. I'm going to say campus job. I'm going to go work off campus. But the same amount is held in the departments. If they go click in the University of Guelph and put BCom, there could be 8 to 9 scholarship which they could be able to qualify. They can stack this because they are different scholarships. They're not linked to each other. I can apply to Sheena's alumni scholarship. I can apply to Shabir's scholarship. I can apply to Colin's scholarship. They're all separate scholarship. They forget that. And they go, how do I fund it? So not only first year, every year, if they maintain the GPAs and things like that, there are high chances students will get more funding. And more students are saying, oh, it's an extra work for me, but nowadays it's only email. It's not a written papers or things. They need to sit down on a Saturday. If they can able to do that, I think that could be a wonderful thing for students. There are lots of opportunity and funding available inside the university. I'd only request my friends and students to go look out for that. That's the only thing we need.
And that's a good point you made, Shabir, because I've heard other schools say this too. The larger ones require a lot more work. Why would someone just hand you $42,000 a year like that? You have to show that you're worth it. So you then have to allocate the time and the dedication to putting in what is required. And it's just writing an essay. I know that's not an easy task for everybody, but if you really want the consideration, and I always think it's a numbers game. The bigger the scholarship, less people might apply because it's a lot of work. I'm applying to that. So just put the time in a weekend, just get your essays, and then you can modify the essays accordingly across the various schools. You don't have to write a fresh essay for every school. You know how to copy and paste, modify a little bit to make it a lot easier. It's not in our time where everything was paper-based, it's electronic. So definitely put in your time. So yes, there's the option to stack scholarships in some cases. Sometimes when a scholarship is over a certain amount, it might not always be stackable. So definitely do your research. Remember, these schools are going to be on the floor, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica. Ask them these questions when you're there. Then also you can ask through the website. We have another question here. I'm not sure if anyone can answer this particular question, but I'm a third year student from Kingston, Jamaica, doing a Bachelor of Science in Networking with Cybersecurity. Is there a master's degree scholarship in my field, cybersecurity, as well as my challenge is finding a college that offers on the job or internship as part of the study? Who wants to answer?
I don't manage currently graduate, but I'm going to give my experience on that. With my US and my Canadian experience and working and studying in the UK as well. So just to give you an example, when you go into any school, when you're going to masters, the masters programs are very short. Like it starts between 13 months to 24 months. So it's very short time, and those programs are very rigorous only. I'm going to give an example. That could be programs which call Master of Science in Business Analytics, and then specialization in cybersecurity. He has to find out specific schools which is where their curriculum has as a part of their curriculum there should be an internship or a co-op, right? There are availability, there are opportunities where the students could do that. Those are all highly competitive. And when I say competitive, not the programs are competitive, all the programs are still competitive, but getting those internship, you're competing with not only the regular people, even as a student, right? That means you need to bring lots of experience, not only the college. That's why most of the students, when they do their masters in the cybersecurity field, they might have completed their master, they might have worked for 2 or 3 years, like in Microsoft or Google or Dropbox or Flickr, Zoom. When they come out of that, they have I have 2 to 3 years experience, I'm doing my masters, and that's how they could able to gain. So yes, there's a possibility. Finding out a right school is really important for that.
What I can say though is that there may be some schools, other schools on the floor that might also cover master's programs. So I definitely encourage you if you're from Jamaica. I know one of those schools is a US school. They are pegged to be in Jamaica. They do have undergrad and graduate. I can't remember if cybersecurity is there, but I do know they have a cybersecurity program at the undergraduate level. So maybe they do have it also at the grad level. You may want to come and check them out. And that will be on the 18th at the Pegasus in Kingston from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Another thing I will say from grad students I do work with students applying to graduate programs daily. It depends on the type of course it is and the country you're looking at, as Shabir would have alluded to. So there's some master's courses that are more course-based, and depending on the area, because of your earning potential, they might not be as much scholarships there. And then there's some other areas, for example, the social sciences, research type scholarships where they may attract more funding. So it all boils down to where you want to study. It also boils down to your grades as well, your interests, and those will factor into what may be available financial wise. I will be on the floor at CupFest across all 3 countries. You can book a slot with me to have a discussion if you want. So you can go on our website, www.cupfestinternational.com. I will also be on the floor in Barbados. So if you want, after visiting the schools or before you visit the schools, you can come to my desk. RSVP a slot. I do have a list that's growing where I can have a couple minutes of session just to go through some information, help explain the schools on the floor better for you so how you can navigate. It's going to be information overload. There's a lot coming at you. Everything looks great and amazing. So how do you compartmentalize? So book a spot with me. I'm there in Jamaica, Guyana, and in Barbados. But for master's level, it is different. It's very different. And I would encourage you to explore all your options. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I have another question for all you folks. Sometimes there's a certain deadline to apply by. So some schools might say, okay, apply by March 1st in your is scholarship consideration period. Do you have scholarship consideration periods when it comes to applications?
From a St. George's University standpoint, only at the undergraduate level for the Caribbean Visionary Scholarship.
Okay.
That's the only one that there is a timeline. We consider those for the fall intake and typically would like to see an application, essays, everything coming in by the 15th of July for the August start. But outside of that, rolling admissions, and we review scholarship applications as they come in, no deadline. Your need, it doesn't change whether you're applying in June or you're applying in July or
True.
August, right? The need is a need. So it's a rolling admission system, and likewise, we review the scholarships at the same speed.
Thank you, Colin. So not a specific date just for the Caribbean Visionaries one, but I'll say that is a rolling based approach. What about you, Valencia College team? Do you have a specific deadline that students apply by, or they can apply anytime and apply for your scholarships anytime as well?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think for us, it boils down to the application deadline, which is June 15th usually. And then the application deadline for the scholarship is usually around the same period. We are rolling admission similar to the other colleges, but we have open admission. So we don't necessarily have the same process of vetting the specific SAT scores of students and things like that. But for the sake of getting the scholarships, we do. So just a few differences there. But yes, yeah, technically we do have deadlines. Yeah.
So around June will be, but it's best to apply before, obviously. You don't want to apply at the last minute, which makes
Absolutely.
yeah.
Of course, the sooner you apply, the better chance you have of being considered for scholarships.
Yes, because then the pot dwindles the later you wait as well. So they're not holding that pot so everybody's in is rolling. So okay, so if you're looking at Valencia, if Valencia is attractive, it's looking quite attractive, folks. 9,000 plus US dollars a year in tuition with linkages to some really big four-year institutions within the US, particularly in Florida. You know, Florida is a popular state for Caribbean persons. It feels like part of the Caribbean most of the time when you're there. So, so I see USF as one of those options, which is one of my favorite schools in Florida too, having visited and toured there. So you can reduce your cost. So it could be an affordable pathway too, not outside of scholarships, it compared to the average cost of attending schools in the US, particularly really cost effective. So check out Valencia College, folks. Shabir, is there a time frame for Guelph? Do I need to apply, for example, by February 1st, March 1st to be considered for scholarships?
I echo what my colleagues Colin and Mona said, right? You know, if you're going to a rolling basis, if you're coming to admissions, you know, there are soft deadlines for admission. There are hard deadlines. You know, after a specific date, you will not able to get a visa to come inside. It's a day. So when you're doing that, the entry level, there is no deadline. So when you apply, you get it automatically. And also there's a global scholarship. When you apply and we see you're fitted to that, we'll know there is no essay. That's nothing, as we said. But when it comes to the bigger scholarship, yes, because we need to convene a committee. We need to make sure that we review the documents. For example, Frank, the President's Scholarship, the deadline was January 27th. We still give students a little bit more time. You submit your application. We give them until February 3rd for them to submit, like a week to submit the references, right? You know, you wrote everything and now you're reaching out to your counselor. Now you're reaching out to your teacher and saying, hey, I already submitted my documents. Can you give me? So we give them a week to submit their references. As I said, when it's a rolling basis, admissions are happening, the entry-level scholarship, there are few times that you're going to have any deadlines, very specific programs. But when you're going to look into a bigger scholarships and the top scholarships, they will have a deadline because they want to make sure that they have to convene a committee, review the documents. Once, then they need to announce. So those scholarships will have a deadline. That's why we always ask the students, don't wait till last minute. It's easy for you to make a decision after. Apply and wait. You're not going to lose anything. Use your weekends after your exams, done it, then you'll be relaxed.
Right. So they're not for the easier scholarships, not so much, but for the large ones, there will be some hard deadlines on that. No, one thing I find that students struggle with are essays. What do you guys recommend students? Sometimes there's not a prompt per se, but obviously they ask you genuinely, why are you applying? Are there word limits? What should, what kind of tips would you give students? Because some students have a hard time getting these things together. Um, for the ones that require essay, what's usually the word limit options? How long should it be? How short should it be? Because some students don't write a lot. There are few words, so they are, so it's hard for them to get those words together. Is it 500 words, 600?
We do, for example, for the visionary scholarship, just like with the personal statement. Um, Let me just take a step back. Do several drafts of your essay, run it by other people so that they have their eyes on it for grammatical errors, typos, etc. That's important. And quite often, less is more. So, you wouldn't want to subject a committee to a 5-page essay. I think you can tell your story in about 500 words. And that's where we come in, somewhere between 250 to 500 words. And you're able to articulate and make a case as to how the scholarship will assist you, but as importantly, how will your new qualification make a difference? Make a difference to the region, make a difference to your community. And you should, I would say, come in between 250 to 500 words in being able to share about yourself, share about your aspirations, and share how the education will be utilized to the benefit of all. Quite often we know how the education will benefit you as an individual. The question is, how will it have that multiplier effect and hence give value for the investment being made in you?
Thanks for that, Colin. So start writing early. Get other people to review your work. Aim for at least, say, 400 words to start. Just always check to see if there's a word limit too, because some stipulate that. There's some that don't, but you got to gauge. I always say aim for 500 or, yeah, between 350, 500. That's a good kind of middle ground to work with. Do any of the other panelists have any suggestions here?
I would, what you Colin said was right. The 250 pages, like for one page, at 500 is 2 pages. I think that's a good number to write. And also each essay or each scholarship will tell you. Some will say 750 words. It's like 2 to 3 pages normally. What I would suggest is, like, every student brings lots of experience every day when they are in the classroom. Do not hesitate. Put all the things comes to your mind. Don't forget that, oh, I forgot that. Put everything, then clean it up. And also, when you start putting that up, the confidence goes up. Oh, I did that. I forgot. Oh, I did the church volunteering and I served this many people. Oh, I went into the, hospice center for 2 days back to back. And when they had the challenges, oh, I went and served here and I taught the student. Oh, I was a swim instructor. I run a marathon. You wouldn't believe, Sheena. Colleagues would also say, when I look into read students' essays and things, they have done many things. But when they write an essay, they will take one thing, repeat the same thing 4 times.
Yes.
They forget they have done different part of their life. That's really important. I would say, once you write, sit with and read with your grandparents or your parents, and they will literally tell you, oh, you read that, you didn't add it. Oh, you forgot about that day. They are the people who dropped them, right? They are the person who took them there, right? I would say in an essay, if you can, they show their leadership, their teamwork, the collaboration, some innovation, what they have done. Think about that, and influencing critical thinking, leadership, critical thinking, teamwork, collaboration, and innovation. That's what the essays people are looking for. Right? Okay, what kind of collaborative you can do? Are you working with different schools to conduct a big dance event? Right? How difficult it is to do, convince everybody to, or a sports event. Are you a leader, not dominating? The leadership is not dominating. Are you a leader to influence other to make better decisions? Right?
Yeah.
Are you innovating something? You don't have to go innovate a big iPhone or things. Are you innovating within your classroom? Right? How students are studying. I think that's what students forget, that if they put those 5, 6 buckets and each scholarship essay, they will tell you what they are looking for: critical thinking, leadership, innovation, collaboration, leadership, soft skills. So if they can think, what did I do? And I would say from their 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, those grades where they're able to make decisions, they can write a whole book, but they take one paragraph, repeat the same thing 4 times when we
It
read it. I
happens.
think, yeah. So I think what they have to do is let their mind out and put everything, then clean it up. When they clean it up, their essay becomes really good, powerful. The errors comes down. When someone reads it, they will only have to correct those typos, the full stops, the periods, the commas. Apart from that, I think the students are well qualified enough to write their own because they are in 12th grade.
Yep. So, nuts and bolts of it all, let's summarize. Every school is different. Every country might have different rules depending on programs, where you study, the level of study. So you have to do your research. And one way of starting that research is attending Cup Fest. Cup Fest fairs, like I said, starts next week. In-person fairs in Barbados, Guyana, and Jamaica. And these lovely schools will be on the tour with us. Check out our website, www.cupfestinternational.com, to see which schools, which countries they will be on the floor at. They'll be part of the showcase. You can also, if you want to discuss your plans and goals, I will be on the floor. We have a RSVP online. You can book a slot and you can come and see me and discuss and help compartmentalize all the information that you're receiving. So don't miss out on scholarships. Read, do your research. You miss a lot. And don't shy away from doing the work to at least put in the application to be considered for one. All these schools have great selling points, really good benefits, from St. George's Caribbean student discount to Valencia's 9,000 a year tuition with foreign linkages to get in-state fees possibly at some of Florida's largest universities. And then we have the University of Guelph in Canada, which has been one of the most popular study destinations for the last 10 years now. And remember, with universities in Canada, all their programs are eligible for the post-graduation work permit. So definitely think about that. You can also get the infamous co-op depending on the program. So you can earn while you learn. So you can learn more how that works at Cup Fest. I want to thank our panelists this evening for sharing your time with me. I know it's precious and I know you're busy and we've all had a long day and you're tired. So I really appreciate the information provided today, and I look forward to seeing all of you during Cup Fest coming up. And I want to thank all the attendees on Zoom, those who peeked in on Facebook. This video will be made available on the Student Center's YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. Some bits of it might be available on our Instagram. So to learn about upcoming events, upcoming webinars, definitely stay abreast on our Facebook or our Instagram. And then you can catch previous webinars on the Student Center's YouTube channel, and you can connect with schools via the Cup Fest International website. I want to say have a good evening, everyone. Remember, I look forward to seeing all of you across destinations that we'll be traveling to. Next week, Monday, we have another webinar. For those of you who have associate degrees, you can earn your bachelor's in 2 years. We're going to explain to you how you can do that. So definitely check out, register. All the notices will be on our Facebook and Instagram. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Good evening.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
We are offline.